定刻となりました。それでは早速講演に移りますが、まず本学学長小宮和人からご挨拶をさせていただいた後、講演を始めていただきます。小宮学長、よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you. Please.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for visiting this university and making the opportunity for all the students and the people around to listen to you and maybe later ask you questions.
Respected leaders and professors and teachers, then young student brothers and sisters, I'm extremely happy to be here with young Japanese student, because I always consider myself, and I think some of you here, so our generation belongs to 20th century. We are our physical still here in 21st century, but actually our generation belongs to 20th century. So 20th century already gone. Now we are the moment, beginning of 21st century. So it's quite clear, future still very much depend on present. There is possibility to change better future without violence, more peaceful, ultimately more compassionate sort of century. We can do. There is opportunity. Past 20th century already gone. That century becomes century of violence. Of course, in spite of many other sort of development, but basically that century becoming like century of violence. And even I think that century used nuclear weapon on Japanese brothers sisters. That past, we cannot change that. It already happened and gone. Only memory. Otherwise, nobody changed that. Even Buddha cannot change past. But future, not yet come. So we human beings have opportunity, ability to build this century, 21st century, happier century, peaceful century, compassionate century. So the responsibility of that mainly on those young people's shoulder. We, the generation of 20th century, we are watching you, whether you really make sufficient effort to create better world, happier world or not. So I'm very happy meeting with younger generation. So firstly, I would like to thank organizer, and especially you, since many years, you see, we know, so you always showing interest. So thank you very much. And now, I think the technology, wonderful. I think technology really changed human today, our life becoming much more easier in a way. And also technology makes our life becoming more busy. We always carry that because a mobile phone. I think no time to relax. I think always communicate, isn't it? And television. I think these young people, I think one factor to degenerate your eyesight, I think because too much look television. And also I think wasting your time.
Wasting time.
Wasting
time.
Wasting.
Yes.
I think we too much sort of pay, too much sort of use or sensorial sort of consciousness. So that I feel as a Buddhist practitioner, it's a wasting our sort of human special unique brain which has the ability to analyze in every field with too much emphasis, seeing something, hearing something, music, and some sports, and food, good smell, touch. If you only sort of pay much attention in these levels, it's really wasting our real sort of ability of human brain. The sensorial consciousness, animal, also is fully used, fully utilized. I think sensorial level consciousness, I think some animals, even birds, or maybe even sort of butterfly, may have a stronger sort of sense. I often is telling people, like elephant, their nose, can smell. I think a few kilometers away, this is something there. Our nose cannot smell. So sensorial level, animals, some animal, I think much stronger than we human beings' sensorial sort of ability. But then we human being, this mind, no other sort of mammals or these sort of animals or birds, no one can match human brain. So technology can provide us physical comfort, not mental comfort. Just I mentioned, our waiting room. I never consider I'm something special. I'm just one of you. Same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. So biologically, we all same. So, and then most important, you want happy life, I want happy life. You have marvelous human brain, me too. Perhaps as a Buddhist practitioner, as a student of Nalanda tradition, perhaps, my brain, more information about the human mind, about the human emotion, and how to tackle these emotions, perhaps. So, sometimes, maybe, and also, in certain field, particularly in the technology field, your knowledge much better than me. So I can learn from you. So exchange. Now, so therefore, now, technology alone, no guarantee to create happier world. Even nuclear weapons, through technology, with help of science, constructed nuclear weapon. So technology and science can be either constructive way or destructive way. So technology itself is no ability to create sense of responsibility, sense of concern. Only human mind with sense of concern of others' well-being, consider others same human being. If you really have strong sort of what's the view, 7 billion human beings, same human being. I do not want suffering. They also do not want suffering. On the basis of that understanding, that awareness, how can you harm them? Sin. If someone hit you, you do not want. So same. Others also same feeling. So with that awareness, restrain harming other. So this technology cannot produce that. Only the human being. And animals also cannot have that kind of ability. Animals only the immediate surrounding, they have some concern. Beyond that, no. Only we human being, we can talk 21st century and future, with certain sort of visions. And only we human beings have the ability to develop infinite altruism, sense of concern of entire world, entire humanity. The only human being can do. So therefore, if people or 7 billion human beings only think about matter, then there is no guarantee this century either become happier or more destructive. The technology itself is neutral. Either can be positive or negative. But then, you see, we as a user of technology, if we keep here anger, hatred, extreme self-centered attitude, then use technology serving that sort of mental attitude, then create a lot of trouble. Technology use with the motivation or sense of concern of well-being of humanity, well-being of whole world, then technology becomes very, very positive. So the technology itself something neutral, but that now can be good, constructive, or destructive is ultimately depend here. So we human beings, I think others, billions of different species of mammals or birds, insects, you see no danger to destroy our world. We only human beings. We all come from our mother. We grown up, we survived and grown up with mother's affection. So we already sort of have the sort of the ability, the deeper experience, how much important about human affection from our mother. So since we received maximum affection from parent and particularly from mother, so we all already equipped the seed of affection, sense of concern of others' well-being. Now biologically, we already have sense of concern, sense of love towards your immediate sort of family members. Now use human intelligence. Think humanity as a human brothers and sisters. Think humanity as a one human family. deliberately, you see, try to minimize extreme self-centered attitude. We can do. So through that way, you see, we can develop genuine sense of concern of well-being of entire humanity. That not biological factor. Biological factor already have the seed. Then use human intelligence. Then further standing, further sort of expand. That's the sense of concern of well-being of other, not only your immediate sort of the family members or your own community, but entire humanity. Then including your enemy. Enemy, as far as their attitude is concerned, enemy. But still, they are part of the humanity. We must respect them. We must extend our love and sense of concern towards our enemy also. So that is we can do. Human being can do. So nowadays, regarding sort of mental quality, various. Recently, I met with some Muslim, some teachers from some Arab country. They told me, one of them asked me, science and religion, something different, separate. So sometimes they a little bit concerned. You see, science further develop, or knowledge about science is developed. So you see, little concern about faith. Then I told them, no problem. Faith, religion is sort of very much related with mind. Science only matter. So, another word, we have this body and mind. Science take care about our physical comfort. Our mind take care by religious faith. So, therefore, all major religious tradition talks love, compassion. And in order to sustain love and compassion, and also you see, in order to sort of extend our love and compassion towards our enemy, all religion teach us practice of tolerance, forgiveness. And also you see, in order to reduce extreme self-centered attitude, too much sort of desire, too much sort of greed, in order to reduce this, the practice of contentment, simplicity. All these not easily come. Therefore, all major religious traditions teach us self-discipline. Then philosophical field, big differences. Basically, among the major religious tradition, two groups: theistic religion, non-theistic religion. Theistic means accept creator. Non-theistic, no concept of creator. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, many Hinduism believe creator. Among ancient Indian religion, Sangha philosophy, Jainism, and Buddhism, no concept of creator. So philosophical field, big differences. But doesn't matter. Different philosophy, simply different way of approach in order to strengthening these basic human value, which I already mentioned. That's necessary. You see, different people with different mental disposition, we need different way of approach. So, even you see 3,000, 4,000 years ago, human population much smaller, but even then like India, one area, already different mental dispositions there. Therefore, Sankhya philosophy, Jain philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, and many other sort of Hindu traditions. I think at least 5-10 different sort of school of thought of Hinduism already flourished. And then later, Christianity also come, Islam also come, Zoroastrianism from Iran also come, and Judaism also come. Because there are, among Indians, it's a different mental disposition. Therefore, you see, we need different way of approach this basic value, like that. So now, I'm talking now about Buddhism.
Yes, please.
Buddhism now. Buddha stated, "O my follower, monks and scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion. Rather, thorough investigation and experiment." So many Nalendra masters, like Longsu Pusa, Japanese Kasuri, Nagarjuna, you see, they carry, even if they examine Buddha's own word, such Buddha's word, we cannot accept literally, because it goes against reasons. And then such Buddhist teaching is, we have to, I mean, we can accept completely, because that backed by reasons, like that. So therefore, I think unique thing, the Buddha Dharma, relying on reasons rather than faith. But faith also mentioned there, but Buddhist faith must be based on reasons, not just faith. So therefore, the concept of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha comes. So now, my own personal sort of now story. About since my childhood, I have keen interest about science.
Yes.
About my age, I think 15, 20, in this period, I have sort of keen interest about science. Firstly, it was, you see, the stars and Lhasa sort of sky, very clear during night, very clear. So some kind of wondering, what are these things? How it happens? How it goes? How it moves? All these things.
Yes. Same with me. When I was very small, I was living in a very countryside. Sky was beautiful and clear, and the stars are so beautiful.
So then, fortunately, late 13th Dalai Lama, you see, he kept some strong, powerful sort of telescope. So I used to see this telescope, and during night, look, moon.
Yes. Moon.
Oh, moon.
Yes.
That I found there is mountains. No,
on the moon, you
on
found
the moon.
on the moon.
On
You
moon.
found a mountain. What a wonderful telescope! Must have been a very big
very
one.
powerful. Yes, very powerful.
One.
So then, one significant is those mountains. You see, of course, in early sort of night. So that means after sunset. So sun from the west I mean, and from sorry, towards the west. So therefore, in the moons, those rocky mountains shade towards east. So that means moon itself, no light. Light comes from sun. So some of our scripture mentioned moon, sun and moon as a place of God, some goddess or some god. Not Buddha type. Simply it's some kasuda. Deva, worldly gods like that, and some its own light. Then I already developed. Now moon its own light. Light come from sun. So then I little sort of doubt. Then some scripture. So some scientific books about the solar system, these things. Astronomy. Then I study or read some of these books. But my English, although I start my study English, I think in 1947, around 47. But anyway, I'm quite a lazy student. So when I read some book in English, when new word come, then not much enthusiasm to open dictionary. So often when new word come, then I leave it. Please don't do that. so not much progress, and then also political reasons. Soon after, it's the Chinese come. Then in the eyes of the Chinese, study English and not good. And instead of study English, I start study Chinese.
I see.
Like that. So then finally, Chinese language also, you say, very little. The English language also no progress. Like that now.
Your English is perfect. Very fine.
So then I noticed the size of moon and sun, huge differences. But it appears us not big differences because of distance. But in our literature, same sort of level, almost same size. Then I doubt. Now some of these sort of the text which mention these things are not scientific, not reality. So one day I invited my tutor. I fixed the telescope to moon, and then my tutor invited, and then they both look, and then they say, "Oh, moon, some rocks, some sort of say mountains, and the shade, as I mentioned earlier, like that." So of course my tutor teach us Buddhist philosophy, these things. But little way I taught two teachers about the real the real picture of moon. So both teachers say, "Oh, there is its own light there. But light come from the west, and because of the shade, remain like that." So these are my sort of keen interest, and then also, you see, interest about electricity. Because of dynamo, how to produce electricity, and I have some knowledge about the AC and DC, these things. So particularly when I visited China in 1954 and 55, I have first time to visit huge hydropower. When I visit, I asked some of the Chinese engineer or Chinese and the engineer, he asked, how is this electricity is come, and what differences AC and DC, these things. Quite interesting. So in any way, now too long. In any way, after I came to India, I think I want to share with you, I think 40 years ago, 1960s, late 60s, I discussed with one American lady who already followed Tibetan Buddhism. I mentioned, I am very much keen to have dialogue with modern science scientists, also to discuss about modern science, mainly cosmology, and then neurobiology, and then exactly you mentioned physics, including quantum physics, then psychology. So then that lady, a Buddhist, to respond me, be careful. Science is killer of religion, so be careful. Then I thought. I remember that Buddha's quotation. My follower should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation. Then I felt no problem. If through scientific sort of finding, scientific research, if something which is there, the proof, something something which, as I said, the sun, moon, or these things, is a contradict with scientific finding, then we have the liberty to accept scientific finding and can explain the Buddha's own word a different meaning or symbolic way. We can do that. So then I start meeting with scientists, the four fields. Then eventually, at the beginning, very few scientists, mainly out of my own curiosity, some discussion. Then gradually, it becomes very clear. These four fields, Buddhism also, you see, mentioned about cosmology or Big Bang, these things mentioned. And the quantum physics, particularly quantum physics, as you mentioned, very rightly you mentioned that was the Nobel laureate. Very right. So recently I was in New York. I give some teaching about the Buddhist concept, about Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, Shunyata, Kungshin. Then later, you see, when I take some questions, one sort of audience is asked me, what is the first step? What should study as a sort of first step to understand about Shunyata? Then I responded, study quantum physics. Because you see, as far as my limited knowledge, you see, quantum physics means, you see, if we investigate particles, for example, this flower goes deeper, atom level. Further goes quarks. Further goes nothing. We cannot sort of pinpoint from objectively this is flower. Right? Anything, any physical things, if we analyze deeper, then nothingness. So one time in India, one Indian great university nuclear physicist, Rajaramana. One time we met in Delhi. He mentioned he saw some, some text wrote by Nagarjuna, and he found the concept of quantum physics already mentioned in the Nagarjuna's text, which wrote 2000 years ago. So he felt very proud. The quantum physics in the West, something new. But in India, over 2000 years, already that concept already, you see, there. He mentioned to me like that. So therefore, of course, quantum physics and modern scientists, physicists, sometimes it's difficult. Now things must exist by objectively. So once we fail to find objectively, then almost it's nihilism. But Buddhism, kasa, tongba ni so sa ta.
空即是式、色空是即という湯川秀樹先生がこの教えがあったから自分はひらめきを得て、中間子理論にたどり着いたんだということをおっしゃったのがこの今ダライラマ法皇様がおっしゃっていることなんですね。
So Buddhist philosopher, they say, on Buddha's own word, Suk Tongpa Wo. Suk Zai no Nihayoma.
ですから物質的な存在をどれだけ分析してもその実体性というものをどこにも見つけることはできないということが仏教のテキストの中では述べられているわけです。でそれが非常に量子力学の分野における物質的なものを分析していくと微粒子もさらに細かい微粒子に分けることができるということから最終的にこれがその物体の実体であると言えるようなものを何一つ見つけることができないということとその理論が共通しているということです。
Ono suk mebar vesel na, mebar mares. Suk yare yadan de, tene tubares.
ですからそれでは物質的な存在というのは全く存在しないのかと言いますとそうではありません。そうではなくそのもの自体の原因と条件に依存して生じてきたという意味が仏教で言われている空の教えということであり、つまりそれはそれ自体の側から自分自身の力で存在しているという意味ではありません。ですから実体というのはそのような他のものに依存しない自らの側から独立して存在しているもののことを実体性というふうに説明しています。
もうにじとばめさん、てばでよちとぐやら。
すなわち他のものに存在していないものはないわけです。何らかの因と条件に依存して、全ての物質的な存在、意識でもそうなんですけれども全てのものは存在するに至ったということですからそのような自らの力だけに依存によって存在しているような実体性の持つものというのはこの世には一切存在していないというのが空の教えということになります。ですからその裏側も言うことができるわけです。ですから空即是式というのは物質的な存在には一切の実体性がない、すなわち空である。しかしながらその逆の方向性も成立するわけであり、空であるがゆえに、すなわち他のものに依存しているがゆえに一つの物質的な存在として全てのものは存在することができるということも言えます。
So eventually, through closer sort of discussion, through closer contact, then it becomes very clear. As far as matter is concerned, we received a lot of useful information from scientific findings. Mind, consciousness, emotion is concerned, modern science not much sort of developed in that field. Sometimes I discuss psychology is concerned or knowledge about mind is concerned, modern science is something like kindergarten level. Ancient Indian sort of psychology, including Buddhist psychology, highly developed. So many scientists realize that. So more and more scientists now very, very eager this kind of dialogue. So eventually we set up one sort of organization we call Mind Life, kasa, Mind Life institution. Now, I look this 27 years since we established that. So since then, almost annually meeting. And sometimes you see that organization, you see, organize a meeting, dialogue, seminar in the United States, sometimes in Europe, and also I think many cases I also participate some discussion. Now recently, I think few weeks ago, you see the 27th our dialogue. You see, last month, yes, last month, like that. So more and more people now coming. From Japan, one time, I think one lady participate, but otherwise, you see, not yet. So I'm expecting more Japanese scientists to participate in that meeting. I think most probably next year, it's a concerned people. Concerned people, I think April next year. Now already we are sort of planned like that.
Yeah.
So, ちょうど
来年の4月に、京都大学の心の研究所というのがございます。そこと先ほどお坊様がおっしゃいましたマインド&ライフ、心と命のインスティチュートという名前ですけれども、その両者のコラボレーションによって、日本で科学者とお坊様の対話が実現することになっております。
So, now I think technology from the Buddhist viewpoint, of course, in ancient sort of according to Indian tradition, rinne chawanga, rinne chunganga.
インドの哲学的な分類に基づきますと、チベットにおけます私たちの知るべき知識教養の分野というものが大きな分野としての5つ、そして小さな分野としての5つというように分けられています。
rinne chawanga samache. Tene sorigba, sorigba, darigba, tene nangdorigba, kanga.
そしてその大きなレベルにおける5つの分野といいますのは論理学、そして医学、そして詩文法、詩や文法を作るということ、それと仏教哲学というこの5つの大きく分けられた分野です。
So, for example, in Buddha's own word, some sort of, what's the text, Buddha's own word, you see mentioned about medicine. And Vinaya, the monastic sort of what's the discipline, the book, also you see mentioned about medicine. So that means Buddha also taking care about our physical comfort. And then also you see the sorry Bhakasari. So all this technology, these also, you see, since you see, bring comfort for humanity. So it is very important from Buddhist viewpoint, very important. As I mentioned earlier, we should not sort of rely completely about technology, our happy life. Technology is part of our sort of happy life, but at the same time, we should not neglect about our inner value, which I already mentioned. So now questions. Now finished my talk. I mentioned. Our friend, you see, asked me, you see, the time. Then I told her, all my talk everywhere come spontaneous. So no time fix. Either half an hour, or 1 hour, or 2 hours. It go like that. I never sort of homework, perhaps half as a lazy person. And second, I start my daily life 3:30 morning. Then at least 5 hours some meditation, some prayer. So not much time. Like that. So then like that. So now questions.
Well, your talk was beautiful and very touching, deep in my heart. I would like to ask you just one question. We have developed technology to such a high level, and then we had made so many things so convenient and easy for the human being. At the same time, when we look at our mental or spiritual happiness, of course the happiness was enhanced, I'm sure, but at the same time, the degree of happiness which we should have been able to attain through the development of the society technologically, this level is not yet achieved. This is how I feel. And it's so important to let the world leaders, including the scholars or philosophers or politicians or every leader in every field, they should be able to understand the concept of religion, concept of Buddhism, which you had told us now. How do you think we will be able to encourage the world leader to really come into this spiritual sphere which you just mentioned? How can we push them further and deeper and higher into this world?
As last now several years, including some scientist and educationist and a philosopher, now we have the strong sort of view, the existing modern education system lacking about moral ethics, education about moral ethics, or another word, yes, moral ethics. Some of my friends, when I discuss about moral ethics, some of my friends have the view any moral ethics must be based on religious faith. That concept really creates a lot of complication. Like India, multi-religious community, if moral ethics must be based on religious faith, then what religion? Even I think Japan, basically Buddhist country, but there are Christians and there are non-Buddhist. Even you see Shinto, I think historically, you see your native religion. So there are sort of the people who have different faith. So therefore, modern India's constitution based on secularism. According to Indian sort of understanding about secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. I think that is something very important, quite interesting. In India, over 3,000 years, as I mentioned earlier, the Sankhya philosophy. Similarly, another sort of philosophy, Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka is actually ancient nihilism. No sort of spirituality, no sort of karma, or no sort of after death, no life, like that. So that's really, you see, the ancient nihilism, ancient nihilist sort of thought. So rest of Indian philosophical thoughts philosophical schools criticize that. But at the same time, person who hold that view which condemned or criticized, but as a person who holds that view, refer sage. Sage. That means respect. So, over 1,000 years, India, this is some kind of a concept, views different, but as a human being, must respect. So therefore, we are trying to promote moral ethics based on secularism, secular concept. So, no particular religion, but respect all religion, and including non-believer. So that way of teaching secular, that way also teaching about moral ethics, then can be universal. So that way of approach about moral ethics very fit in secular education field. So we all, I think some scientists, some thinkers, as I mentioned earlier, already now working, already carrying some teaching, moral ethics teaching, according to this sort of concept. Already, as an experiment, now some universities in America already now doing these things. And then they found, after sort of attend such sort of class about moral ethics, they already shows concrete sort of effect to the student, becoming much more peaceful mind and more compassionate. As a result, their sort of relation with their the other people also becoming much more peaceful, much more positive, like that. And health also much improved. They experimented, some people, about 3 weeks, some kind of training about compassion, like that, half an hour a day. Then before that start, they test blood pressure and the amount of stress and some other sort of test. After 2-3 weeks, again test, they found blood pressure much reduced and stress much reduced. As a result, the person become much more relaxed. So already sort of found. So these sort of training, not talking about God or Buddha or next life, simply the peaceful mind is very important for our health, for our peaceful family. Yesterday, one interview with one television, Kasa interview kare. One TV interview.
News Zero.
So one question, the interviewer asked me, among the Japanese, and particularly among the younger people, bully. The elder or stronger one, bully, weaker or younger one. So he asked me that question, that point. Then I mentioned, these are extreme self-centered attitude. Me. Don't care about others' feeling. Then bully, cheating, exploitation, worst case, violence happen. So these are constitution or law. It cannot much effect through education, through awareness. You see, taking care about others' well-being, respect others, is the best way to gain your own good health, happier person. So these are through education we can develop conviction. Otherwise, religious people also, there are cases of corruption, corrupted religious people. So, these cases really lack of firm conviction, these moral values. So then they carry religion as a sort of, different way of earning to oneself. And sometimes it's a religion, religious people or religious leader sometimes exploiting their faithful follower. So religion also become dirty religion, like politics. Sometimes the politics we usually call dirty politics. This politics itself is something dirty. No. It is some element or method in the society, in the country, isn't it? But then politicians who involve the politics become not very clean, so we call dirty politics. Similarly, religion, people in the religious field, their mind not very honest. Then religion also become dirty religion. Every human every human activities or expertise is carried with negative emotion, negative motivation, then all these professions also become dirty professions, like that. So, the real point is, in the education, should include some moral ethics, not based on religion, but secular way, and mainly based on scientific finding. Then I think we can bring conviction in the student's mind. The moral ethics, to Buddhist, Buddha state moral ethics, you must sort of practice that. Then sometimes work, sometimes may not.
So,
but if we make clear these moral ethics are the best sort of interest for your own well-being, then people, students, really pay more attention. Usually I call hygiene of physical. Usually we teach. So similarly, hygiene of emotion.
I see. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For your own sort of concern, like that.
Thank you so much.
So unless the real point is, unless we make some worldwide effort through education, promote this conviction of basic sort of human values, I think a society where your education also very much oriented about material value, materialistic education, where oriented materialistic. Then society also, you see, you have some kind of materialistic culture, materialistic sort of life. And then very difficult. So therefore, you see, we can't blame on some sort of leaders, you see, who carry little strange way. We can't blame on them. They grown up in society where not much talking, not much sort of serious sort of look about moral ethics. So we have to think fundamental level. That's my view.
Thank
I
you
always
so much.
talking in America, or recently I was in Mexico. I told these things, and now last a few years, I always talking these things. So.
Thank you so much.
どうもありがとうございました。
ピーター・ヤーロさんです。どうぞ。
Good to meet you. Wonderful. It's
I
an
think
honor.
I think sometimes when we met an old friend
Yes.
with big nose, then I would like to practice the Maori's practice.
通訳は染谷和美さんです。お願いいたします。
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 이제
Your Holiness, I would like to acknowledge that most of these people have no idea who I am.
法務の前で失礼ですが、おそらくここにいらっしゃる皆さんが僕が誰かご存じない方も多いと思いますので。
And so I'm going to sing 20 seconds of a song and then they'll know. Puff mono ga kula shite ta umi ni aki no kiri tanabiku hana. One more time now. Puff the magic dragon lives, licked in the autumn mist in a land called Anali. Oh, Puff the magic kula shite ta umi ni aki no kiri tanabiku Anali. Okay. Never give up, no matter the pain and sorrow. Never give up. You'll find your tomorrow. Compassionate heart, it will lead you. Your loving heart, it will free you to never give up. Never give up. Love everyone, love all strangers, love even your enemies. Love everyone, and everyone will join you to work for peace, to work for peace, for peace. Okay, come out, please. And interpret it, please. Simultaneous. Never give up.
諦めないで。
No matter the pain and
どんな
sorrow,
に辛くても悲しく
never
ても
give up.
諦めないで。
You'll find your
明日
tomorrow.
は必ず見つかるから。
Compassionate heart,
思いやりの心、
it will lead
それが
you.
導いてくれるだろう。
Your loving heart, it will free you
それが
to
君を
never
自由にして
give
くれ
up.
るだろ
Never give
う。
up.
諦めないで。
Love everyone,
みんなを愛するんだ。
love all strangers,
知らない人であっても、
love even your
敵
enemies.
であっても、
Love everyone,
みんなを愛そ
and everyone will join
う。そ
you
したらみんなが君の仲間にな
to
る
work
よ。
for
そ
peace,
して平和を求めて活動
to
してい
work
こ
for
う。
peace,
平和のために、
for peace.
平和のために。
Never give up. Never give up, never give up. Never give up, never give up. Never give up.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
まさに簡単に本の話をさせていただきますと、思いやり、それからお互いを心配するような心、これには2つのポイントがあると、1つには、血縁関係、友達関係をお互いに知っている人同士であれば、遠慮なく気持ちを話し合うことはできると思うけれども、それともう一つが、知らない同士の間でのことだよね、問題になるのは。でも、知らない人であっても、敵であっても、お互いが同じ人間であると、同じ気持ち、人間です敵だと言って、そこで敵を排除してしまったら、この言葉の敵でしかないと、ずっとそこであり続ける、そういったネガティブな考え方でいくのではなく、時にはもちろん対立するかもしれないけれども、ある程度気持ちになってものを考えてみるというところで、何か関係することもできるのではないですかといったことで、ですので、当にお越しくださいませ。
There are now together. This can move. Oh, it's within that is animal. Technologies cause unhappiness. For example, traffic accident. But it is wheelchair. It don't cause traffic accident. Therefore, there are sensors and it recognizes all our environment. For example, it scans all driving systems. If there are obstacles, it avoids automatically. For example,